The way I buy books, hey, it, it's as if God intended me to be a very, very rich person in this life. Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Uche, and if this is your first time on this channel or you're a returning viewer, you are highly, 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 highly welcome. So guys, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the book. No, I'm not going to be reviewing any book in this video. I'm going to be doing a book tag. So I'll be doing the reader problems book tag, and I'll be answering a number of 12 questions, and you know, you just get to know small things about me. This is not a get to know me videos, and I hope this is fun. Yeah, so let me not talk too much. Let me just start answering the questions. So the first question is, how do you decide what to read next? So how do I decide what to read next? I just go with the flow. Like I go with the flow in an orderly manner. So on my notepad on my phone, I arrange the books I want to read in the scale of preference. So the ones I want to read that I'm so eager to read, I put them in the beginning, and the ones that I feel these ones might not be interesting, I just leave it down. Like I just put them in the last part. So that's just how I decide what to read next. You just, as the spirit goes. The ones, see, how I decide what book to read next is just based on the book I feel is going to be very interesting. So if I'm looking at this book, I'm looking at the cover. Yeah, I know I'm partial like that. I'm looking at the cover. I'm like, okay, this book might be interesting. Let me just read it. So that's how it is. So for the next question, you have 20,000 books on your TBR. So TBR means to be read. How in the world do you decide what to read next? It's just what I've still answered in the number one question. It's just based on how fine the book is. Yes, I know I'm not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but I'm guilty as charged. So it just still, you know, based on the cover. See, there's some covers of books that just kind of tell you the story in picture. Just with one picture, you're like, okay, I feel this is what is going to happen in this book. So I think that's just how I just do mine. So now the third question is, you're halfway through a book and you're just not loving it. Do you quit or are you committed? Guys, when it comes to books, yes, I've read books that on a normal day I'm cursing myself. I'm like, who sent me message? Why did I touch this book? Did they force me? But I just cannot quit. I like to see it to the end, so I can just maybe tell my friends, or maybe on this channel I can just come on this channel and say, oh, I read this book, oh, this is what I felt to those studies. So I just like to just take the bullet for everyone and just go anywhere and say, no, this book, not read this book. For instance, I was reading Birds to You in the Crossfire series by Sylvia Day, and God, hi Jesus, it was not funny. I mean, I went on Goodreads and I was seeing they were rating this book 4.5, they were rating it 5. It had good reviews, there were good reviews. People really loved this book. And I was reading this book and I just was not getting it. I just tried. I just tried to complete Birds to You, but I completed the book. So I'm not a quitter. I see it through. I see it to the end. So the first question is, the end of the year is coming and you're so close but so far away on your Goodreads reading challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how? Let me not lie. I only go on Goodreads to just check out books and maybe read a review or two for books that I do not have readily available to read. That's when I check out the reviews. And I just, just to see, I just go to just do window shopping on Goodreads. So I'm not going to come here and come and say and come and form that, hey, I have Goodreads reading challenge. I'm the best reader. No, I'm not going to do that. So, but if I have any book that I feel I should have read before the year runs out and I'm not able to read, if I try my best and I see that I'm not able to read it, I'll just leave it till the next year. I know they do pass myself. Don't go and do pass yourself. It's not, you're not in competition with anybody. I'm not in competition with anybody. So I just read at my own pace. Basically, the main purpose of me reading any book is just because I want to relax. I want to get lost in another world. It's just entertainment, education, information, all those good stuff. But basically, I just read books to just relax, and so it's not a competition. Something, it's not so much of a challenge for me to read. So that's just it. So now the fifth question is, the covers of a series you love do not match. How do you cope? Waiting concern me. Happy even the Namoto buying Namoto. So that's just leave what they wrote on the body of the moto and enter the moto or enter the car. The cover of a series you love do not match. How do you waiting concern me? Let me write the book. I'm not the owner of the book, so I don't care. My own is just to read the book, read the story, enjoy the story, and tell people about it. Oh, this is how much I enjoyed the book. So if the covers it doesn't match, I'm good. I'm okay, fine, no problem. I like to see the good in everything. So maybe I might just think, oh, maybe this is what the author thought about it, but it's not as if my opinion counts anyway. So I'm good. So now the sixth question. Everyone and their mother loves a book you really don't like. Who do you bond with over shared feelings? I go on my WhatsApp status and I rant about it, and I have many contacts on my WhatsApp status. So hopefully one person is going to see reasons with me and we're going to talk about it together. That's just it. So the next question is, you're reading a book and you're about to start crying in public. How do you deal? Have I ever read a book that made me want to cry in public? No. But if a situation like that comes, I think I'll just blink a lot and try to, just do it subtly, because I don't like this Lagos that I'm in. They like to look. They look. So if somebody is already looking at you, madam, you dey alright, wetin dey happen? So don't embarrass yourself. So I'll just blink a lot and just try to swallow a lot and just remove my mind from it. Yeah. Abi I'll come and start crying. No, don't cry like that, please. So the next question. A sequel of a book you loved just came out, but you've forgotten a lot from the prior novel. Will you reread the book, skip the sequel, try to find a synopsis on Goodreads, cry in frustration? If I love a book that much, God knows I'm going to be willing to read it again. So one thing with me as it concerns book is that when I'm reading a book, I like to take my time to read the book, because I do not want to bother myself with reading it again. I hardly ever read a book twice. So if I love a book that much, I'll make that sacrifice and read it a second time if the sequel is going to be out, because I just need my brain to just be fresh and be going pium 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 as I'm entering the sequel of the book. So the next question, you do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you politely tell people nope when they ask? I will just say no. Yeah. No. You want to borrow my books? I've had so many cases of giving people my books. Either they mauled the book, they killed the book, or they just refused to return it, or they said they pretended like I didn't give them the book. So my book got lost like that. So I've had those situations, and I do not enjoy having a repeat of that, because I remember there was one time in university I was collecting books written by Mary Higgins Clark. So I was just keeping them one after the other with my pocket money that I'm supposed to use to eat. I'll just go to the book stand, get one of Mary Higgins Clark books, because Mary Higgins Clark is one of my favorite authors. I just love that woman's work so much. And a friend of mine came and said, "Ah, Uche, borrow me this book. Let me read." And I looked, I was like, this girl is my very good friend, though. She's very nice to me. I like her so much. And I gave her the book. Fast forward to when I went to her house to visit her, and by then she had not returned the book. The book had stayed months with her. So I went to her house, and I saw a book lying tattered, scattered, dead on the ground in her house, in her room. And I picked up the book. Lo and behold, it was my precious book. I could not cry. Ah, God, I could not cry. Like, it felt like, oh my God. Eh? Hey, Jesus Christ. But I could not shout, because she's my friend. You don't used to shout at friends. You don't. Ah, God. In my mind, in fact, I was not even angry. I was sad. I was depressed. I was short of crying. And when I asked her, she was like, it's when she's not the one that taught it to. That somebody came to her house, somebody came to her room and borrowed the book. I'm like, excuse me, I borrowed you my book and you gave it out to someone else. Who does that? It's not yours. I entrusted this book into your care, and you're giving it to someone else. And look at, I thought I'm not going to collect it too. Thank God I've read the book. I'm not going to collect it. So I just looked around. I said, I'm going to exchange. You see that book I've dashed you. I give it to you. It's now yours. So I'm going to look for any of your book that is still alright. So I exchanged. So if anybody comes borrowing any of my books, of course you will not come, because I'm not going to give you. I'm sorry. The best thing I can do for you, I can just direct you to the bookstore where I got mine, or just give you a link, just make it easier for you so you have your own. It's best you have your own. I'm not sharing mine. I'm sorry. I love you so much, but I'm not going to give you my books. I will do anything for love, but I won't do that. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Sorry. So the next question is reading ADD. You've picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get over your reading slump? How can I pick up and put down 5 books in the last month? It's not possible. I like to do my things in an orderly manner, and just like I said earlier, I like to challenge myself. Even when I'm reading a book that is not interesting, I just try to complete it. So if I'm reading a book and I've not completed it, I'm not going to the next one. Yes, there are temptations of, when you have so many interesting books readily available for you to read at a certain point, and you're like, let me read this one small and read this one. No, I do not do that. I try to just hold my long truth. For instance, I just got this book, Dear Alayeri. I'm going to put a picture of it. I just want, in fact, I have so many books on my shelf that I want to read, but I can't do that. Every book has its day, and every book will wait its turn. God, So the next question is, there are so many new books coming out that you're dying to read. How many do you actually buy? Hey, God. See, the way I buy books, hey, it's as if God intended me to be a very, very rich person in this life. Yes, I might say I have a budget, but oftentimes I go over the budget because I want it all. I buy the books that I feel like they're the most interesting. This thing just happens to me. When I keep seeing a book online, maybe some of these pages that I follow, because I follow some bookstores on my Instagram, and when they keep putting out these books, especially a particular book, and I've seen it before somewhere and I'm seeing it again. I'm like, hey, it's as if this book is going to be very interesting. Let me not be the last person to read this book. So that is just how I buy. That's just how I bought Dear Ellery in the first place. So I've seen it on different bookstores on Instagram, and one evening, this particular bookstore, I think is I'll leave their handle here. They posted this book, and I was like, Habek, you don't do. Before I would see this book in my dream, I just sent them a DM, and I had the book delivered in the next 2 days. They would have delivered it the next day, but I requested for them to have it delivered in the next 2 days because the location I gave them, that was where I was going to be at that time. So that's just it. So now the last question. After you've bought the new books you can't wait to get to, how long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? Hey, God. You know I told you I do my things in an orderly manner. Well, it's biting me because as at last week I bought this book. Let me show you the book. I bought this babyoku looking book. Hey! The book is so fine. I bought it from Books and More Bookshop. So they are located at Freedom Park, Gate 4 Campbell Street, Lagos Island. But you can send them a DM on Instagram, Books and More NG. So I bought this book. I think I bought it last week. Yeah, I bought it last week. And guys, hey God. I left it in the packaging like that too. See, this book. Normally, when I'm reading ebooks, maybe on my way to work, I just whip out my phone and I start reading it. But you see this book, it does not take me anything to actually put it in my bag, and maybe on my way to work or on my way back from work, I'll just open it and start reading. But this book is too fine. I don't want anything to stain it. I don't want any blemish on it. So I'm going to hold myself, and make sure that the only time I'm reading this book is when I'm in my house. Yeah, when my legs are crossed, when I'm munching on some nice something and drinking some nice stuff, because this is baby oku now. See, this is baby oku book. You don't read it anyhow. You read it with care. You read it with passion. You need to respect this. See now, you need to respect this book. So that's just how. I don't know if I've even answered the question. Let me check. How long do they sit on your shelf before you get to them? So I'm reading a book currently. I'm reading On Black Sister Street by Chika Onigwe. So I think the next book I'm going to be reviewing on my channel is going to be that book. So I'm almost through with it. So I'm thinking when I'm done reading that book, this is the next book I'm going to be reading. That is If Hell Hath No Fury hasn't gotten to me by then, because I actually ordered for Hell Hath No Fury before this book, but this book got here first because Hell Hath No Fury, they are shipping it from Obodo Ibo, from the abroad, so I don't have it yet. So I'm hoping that on the 10th of December I'll be getting the book by then. And if I don't get the book by then, once I'm done reading On Black Sister Street, I'm going to read this book and I'm going to come here on this channel to review this baby oko. Yeah. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this book tag. If you did, please like this video so that I can be recommended to other people, and share this video with your friends. And also do not forget to subscribe, guys. So I'll be seeing you in my very next video.